Hi, my name is Anna Kisvet, and I'm going to be summarizing Chapter 18, Positive Reinforcements in the Institutions. So, the book goes off the bat and said, who are the ones that are usually institutionalized? Um, it goes on posing a threat to themselves or to society at large. They limit social relationships, deprive the freedom, autonomy. So schools for handicaps who supposed to be teaching new skills to overcome limitation. Hospitals are for mental illness to find the cures. Um, and prisons for those that break the laws. Now, institutions tend to be viewed out of sight, out of mind. How the book goes stated. Um, People tend to not ask too many questions of what are they doing there. So, because of that, that kind of tends to leads to misuse of deployment. The people that usually indicate these are teachers, school administration, military officers, prison guards, government officers. Those are just some examples of books list of that can misuse. And primary is when you take a positive reinforcers away from the person until they show how the book lists good behavior. So it is a good, effective positive reinforcer if it's not misused. Uh, some examples are food, sex, and others. Way of denying them those things. To do this, you will see that that person will show signs of seeing that things. For example, if you take food away, they start desiring it. So say their taste buds will start to activate. Their peers with dialect. That's just examples of it. And then we have timeout and abuse and its abuse. So this happens both at home and in institutions. Timeout has a form of punishment, particularly. So it's to have a social control, but so as children, they learn that they'll be sent to timeout for undesirable behaviors, and they refer. And if you use no, the meaning no would imply that to future situation. Institution implies that will help of positive reinforcers. So it's like the book implies it's just like chalk. So it's like the um, previous chapter of the rat and the lecture shot, and how it tries to avoid those. It could be abuse. For instance, a kid may desire that time out, so it could be misused that way, as will paralyze the person from acting. Now the second part, the next part, it talks about prison and the learning environment. So they started asking, they and try to put a program of where they could learn while in prison, but it wasn't having volunteers as much as they would like, and they were wondering why, and they put incentives to it. So, with all this, there was no punishment, so they did not punish anyone for not going. So the incentives were that they got digital jobs, more desirable jobs. They got to purchase school supplies with the skills they learned. They were capable of writing resume or for job interviews and stuff. The new skills help them find other desirable positive reinforcers. So, for instance, reading. If they're able to read and write, they could write letters to their loved ones, or be able to read books that gave them a positive reinforcers. So it expanded the world around the student or the person who's a volunteer. So when they left, they had a little bit more opportunities to apply to certain things. Now, with that said, the question I have is, for the prison as a learning environment, if there's more programs that in prison, would that be a positive reinforcers for people to break more laws, or would it encourage the prisoners to be there, to have more opportunities to not be in those situations again? So thank you for listening to me, and have a good day.